All right, it's that time again to dive into some music from Ren. This is the highly anticipated, much requested Money Game Part 3. Now, you guys have been requesting it nonstop, clamoring for it, and I thank you for your patience. I told you I would get around to it, and that's what we are here to do. So I thank you for tuning in. It's your boy Snake Venom S to the V. And I also noticed that the runtime is the exact same in this video that it was for High Ren. And I remember High Ren's runtime very specifically because it was the longest video that I had reacted to at that point in time. Is it meant to be? Let's find out. My boy's looking dapper. And that soul that just came out of his voice. Woo! And he's doing the melody of Money Game 3. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to take it from the top because there are so many things that I like already. And he hasn't even spoken a word yet. We're going to run it back. Take it from the top. I feel like you're just at a play right now and you're watching this unfold and that music hits, the Phantom of the Opera comes in. It's almost like Dracula's about to walk in too. I love Dracula. But that very dark tone to the music. This shot right here, this angled shot. Oh my god, I love this perspective. Woo! Oh, excellent camera work. Okay, the reflection of him on the hood of the piano while it's flipped. It's like, we have that upside down visual, but then the camera continues to spiral out of control. It's like, the whole world is spiraling out of control right now as it continuously goes. My whole world got flipped, turned upside down, and now I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. All right. But proceed. A Sam and Ren video. We got Sam's name in the title. Yes. Yes. And then this right here. So Ren started out playing the piano, but the camera transitioned to this other masked man who was just leaning against the wall, observing Ren at work, and then comes over to relieve him of his duties. It's like when you're at work and you have your boss hovering over your shoulder, making sure you do every little thing that they want you to do, but it's never good enough. And they will make sure you know that. And they'll tell you that they can replace you. You are replaceable. And you are a dime a dozen. They will have somebody in there to take your position in the next 15 minutes. And now Ren was just relieved of his duties. That's the world we live in. This shot right here as well. In the mirror, we see the reflection of the other masked man sitting at the piano. And it's as if Ren is looking back at his past where he was. But now he's fixing his hair and he's dusting himself off and he's preparing himself to move forward.
Tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading.
That is exactly what you shouldn't do to your kid. His dad is like that little devil on your shoulder. He's just telling him in his ear, you need to be a man. He's 5 years old. His nuts haven't even dropped yet. But that is how you create this disdain in your child. They will have this idea in their mind that you have expectations for them now, and they have to try and meet your expectations. You'll cast this shadow over them. This is where resentment starts. You can guide your child, but you don't need to make them like you. They are their own person. You can help lead them on a better path, but at the end of the day, if you're casting this shadow over them, how are they supposed to create their own light?
To be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150. Still
a money game figure on the table. I like the little Easter egg. That's a nice touch.
solving complex mathematical equations. At 15,
What is that book right there?
and 14, solving complex math.
The Beano book? What's that? Is that a book in the UK? If you guys know what the Beano book is, let me know down in the comments.
Mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells it.
He did what? Hold up! He's 16 and he created a software code for cybersecurity? How the fuck? I mean, he's a genius, IQ level 150. What the? Now, see, this is another Ren video where I'm reminded, and it makes me think about Mr. Robot. I've mentioned it in previous Ren videos before. It fits so perfectly here. Mr. Robot is one of my favorite shows. It's one of the best shows I've ever seen. But he mentioned coding and cybersecurity. Mr. Robot is about coding, cybersecurity. It's about computer hacking. But it's also about mental health, and it gives you an introspective into one's mind. And I feel like that is very fitting for Ren's music, but also it fits very well for right here in this moment. And I think that if you love Ren's music, I wonder if Ren has seen the show. It'd be a good show for him to watch. But if you love Ren's music, I think you would love Mr. Robot as well. It stars Rami Malek. Go check it out.
It detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in
The acting is so superb. How can one person be so good at one thing, but be just as good at another? It's mind-boggling. Just his demeanor change, the facial expressions, the mannerisms that he's just... This performance is off the charts already. This is... Ren! Ah! But I also noticed that the piano keys, the tempo, started to increase. If you'll notice, as that progression is taking place, his flow increases as well. But it's also coinciding as his years progress. As Jimmy is getting older, year by year, the piano and Ren's flow have gotten faster as well. So we see those increases, but it's also as he ages. And, you know, when they say when you get older, time flies. But Jimmy's only like 16. He's not even that old. But that could be a result of Jimmy's dad trying to force him to grow up fast. Man, that's genius level stuff right there. He called Jimmy a genius. Ren's a damn genius. Putting that together? But watch the demeanor switch. Ren is playing the role of the narrator here, voicing everything that is transpiring for Jimmy, but also playing Jimmy at the exact same time and demonstrating these things that are going on. And then for a brief moment, he turns into Jimmy's dad. How in the... They talk about multiple personality, and but right here, watch this demeanor switch. You'll see his dad, have this dark look on his face, as if he's very angry, he's being stern, and a look of disappointment almost. And I don't know what there's to be disappointed about, because he created a damn software program for cybersecurity at 16. But then he immediately switches that look to Jimmy's demeanor, and he's happy as a lark, just throwing cash around, smiling, having the time of his life.
18 and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns that...
Look at that pickup! It picked up even faster after I just mentioned it. What the... I didn't even... Okay, I thought it was fast already, but this increase, it was increasing because he's like 11, 12, 13, and then I noticed the piano keys picked up, but it's gradually gotten faster.
About you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal...
So his father has instilled in him that money equals power, and if you have enough money, you can buy anything you want.
Manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name.
The paparazzi had the bag on his head too. Everybody in the video so far has had a bag on their head. And that is a representative of every single person is a part of the money game. We're all part of this old money game. Every single person in existence is a part of it.
Luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches...
Here comes his father again. It seems like his father shows up every couple years. Where does he go? But his father comes around every couple years just to remind him that what he's doing is not good enough. Nope, you can do whatever you want. Sorry, keep trying.
Sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside this...
Oh, no. That was so slick. I mean, Ren's looking slick in that suit, but that was so slick.
That palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift.
A business shift. Now he's dealing arms. We see the arms extend into the frame here for that handshake. They're doing business, but he has shifted his business to dealing in arms. They're doing a business deal right now. But he switched his business to dealing in arms, as in dealing in weapons. Arms dealing... Oh, that's so damn slick.
He switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31.
Jimmy's dad is starting to piss me off. Here we go again, telling him he's not good enough. You'll never be good enough. Talking down on me, spitting on him. Just no matter what he does, he can never reach his father's expectations. And the acting, superb again. He transitions in and out of each little character so seamlessly. Just... He even put his hand on the chest for the presidential suite and looked off into the distance as if he was pledging allegiance like we do here in America, and then switched right into his dad telling him how worthless he is.
9, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31.
So his dad's back around again, and he says, "You're losing the race." His father's telling him that he's losing the race. But he's not just losing the presidential race. It's also that his father is telling him he's losing the race of life. Because at 5 years old, he told his son that he needs to learn to be a man. He's been propelling his son, just propulsioning him to race him through life. And no matter what Jimmy does, he just can't catch up. Just can't keep that pace. All of these little obstacles that he's made it past, it's never good enough. So he's telling him he's losing the presidential race and he's losing the race of life.
Losing the race, you're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval. Moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32.
Here we go again. He's trying to win daddy's approval. That's never going to happen. He's 30 years old. If he hasn't gotten his father's approval by now, he's never going to get it. But he's still trying to win him over. And his dad mentioned that he is just a servant to the king. He's not even in second place of that presidential race, but he's just a servant to the king. So that is a very sly way of talking about all these presidential, or not just political, really, just political figures. All of these political figures that we see, they're not the ones in control. They're the figureheads. Those are the mouth movers that they send out. So we see them, but we don't see the ones in the shadows, the ones behind them that are pulling on those puppet strings. If you look, there is so many of them that someone just has their hand up their ass and they're working their mouth like a puppet.
Daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket.
Look where the globe just landed. He's talking about dealing weapons and all these drugs, like the cartel in South America. How did he get the globe to stop right there? He's a damn magician. There's no other explanation. I mean, this whole video so far has been magic. Oh my gosh. And oh my god, dude, this is driving, oh my goodness, this is driving me nuts. We gotta run it back. Okay, because there was a spin to that globe that he did, and I mentioned at the beginning how that camera was spiraling, was like the world spiraling out of control. He just spun the world out of control in the video. What the fuck? He spun the globe and the camera spun. Oh my goodness. I'm about to have to take a walk or something. We're only halfway through. Man, I gotta go get some fresh air. Holy shit. Okay. Run it back.
tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket.
He mentioned Blind Eyed, and shout out to Blind Eyed. That's one of my favorite songs. I love that song. Ren and Sam Tompkins. I've done a couple reactions to their performances of Blind Eyed, and if you haven't seen them, I would greatly appreciate if you go check them out because I adore that song so much. But Blind Eyed from the Popo, so he's got the cops in his back pocket because he paid them off. And whatever he does, they don't see it. What happened? I don't know.
"35, he gets the call. I'm sorry, son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack. I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion. Heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and
Heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. He's chasing that high. But he's already in a drunken rage right now. He received a call with bad news, and now his father is gone. And when you receive bad news, the expression you say, "My heart sunk." His heart sunk when he received that call, but the music sank as well. It dropped out, and then it had that low rumbling tone. And now we're building up, and we see Jimmy here, and he's stumbling back and forth. He's drinking heavy, and that's a very common response when people are overcome with emotion. They want to drink away those sorrows. And now we see Jimmy doing the exact same thing, but in these drunken, accentuated mannerisms. He's controlling the camera with his movement. So the cameraman looks drunk. This is just excellent camera work, too. So shout out to the cameraman. Because if I would have been trying to do that, I would have probably fell over. But, gosh, man. If his father passed...
position demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion. Heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, "I don't think you'll be walking again." Fuck.
He had his dad's words replaying over and over again. Even after he passed, he was still trying to reach and meet those expectations. But how can he meet his dad's expectations if he's already gone? He'll never know if he lived up to what his father wanted him to be. And I don't think he ever could. Because it seemed like the bar that his dad kept setting for him, he kept moving it. He kept going higher and higher with it. And it was never in Jimmy's grasp. He couldn't reach that. And now look at him. Wow. We're going to run it back. This sequence again.
Driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward.
I mentioned the cartel in South America. Oh my. Now he started a turf war with him, and we see what transpires. Oh, boy.
A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
Ooh. And as he drops, and he drops the bottle, the music drops out as well. And that allows us to hear that bottle clank right off the ground. The audio in this is, oh my, it's just perfection. Everything is so crisp, clear, vocalized, all the little background. Work of art, work of art. But I noticed something as well. I noticed this, yeah. There's more people standing over here in the background. I think it's the cartel, judging by the outfits, but I guess they just had nowhere else to run, so they're just kind of hanging out in the back, and now they get to watch the show. And this was filmed in front of a live studio audience. But they have nowhere to go, so go hang out in the corner. If they would have tried to open a door, maybe it would have made too much noise and got picked up on the audio. Ah, Jimmy. Ooh, look at that look on his face.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold.
So now he curses the first words he ever learned. At 1 year old, he learned the words, mine, mine, give me. Now he hates those words. He's in his 40s now. But they say with age comes wisdom. And the call back to the beginning. He was walking, then walking quickly, then he was running. Now he's doing none of that. He can't. So we watched Jimmy evolve, and now we're seeing him devolve. And look at this shot right here. Look at this camera shot. Oh my. Just the symmetry between everything in this shot. Even his hands, the way they're laid out. They perfectly go across the chest. Oh my goodness, this shot. Excellent camera work again.
The pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music.
Yeah, cut the music. That is a perfect time to cut the music right there. Oh, that string set was giving me chills. I got goosebumps from that. Oh my goodness. There's so much to take in here. It sounded like the violin was playing the melody of Money Game, and that was just gorgeous. But he mentions the hand inside the cookie jar, in the land of the free, taking more than you need. How is it the land of the free if it's run on money and greed? But there's a very pivotal moment I want to run back to. I want to run this back because I feel like this is a very important shot for this music video. Very important moment here. Oh man, there's so much. There's so much. Oh my goodness. Oh, gotta take some deep breaths. Deep breaths. Okay, we're gonna run it back now. Man. Okay.
Land of the free, put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And
Right here. This shot right here, from Jimmy's perspective, we see him looking back to moments in his life, these different stages that he went through. And he's sitting here reminiscing. He's trying to figure out what went wrong. Where did it go wrong? Why? How did he end up in the position that he's in? I believe that this is a message to us. Because Jimmy is looking back on life. But did Jimmy ever really get to experience life? I feel like this is a message to us. Because if we race through life and we don't slow down to experience life, it'll be too late before it's gone.
it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame.
Right there, right there. It's a version of you. It's a version of me. It's a version of him. It's a version of she. Everybody is a part of this old money game. Every single person. Man, just look at the veins coming out, isn't it? The passion, the power behind this.
Call the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy, community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution?
I feel like I see where this is going with the gun on the table. So the narrator is now speaking directly to us. He's breaking the fourth wall. But he told us all of these inventions are all just things that people imagined up. They weren't real things. They're just imaginary things, these ideas. But they found people who were gullible enough. They found enough suckers to believe in it. And now look where we are. And I also love these pauses, these moments of silence in the video where he breaks the music. It allows for Ren to take a break and just breathe. It allows for Ren to breathe, but it also allows for the audience to breathe. I find it really interesting to hear those people who say, you'll see comments. You'll see them where people say that you pause too much, the flow of the song and everything. I would love to see them say that to Ren. Because Ren is pausing in the middle of the song as it progresses. In other words, keep that same energy. But these moments right here, these breaks, there's so much being said right now in just the silence. Oh, 45. That's a real gun. The weight when that hit the table, that's not a prop. It might be decommissioned, but that's a real gun.
Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's...
That's about Jimmy, right there. That's about Jimmy. Teach the kids while they're in school. They're the sheep, put them before the herd, and then just make as much money as you can. That is exactly what Jimmy's dad did to him.
Before the herd if there's more money for me. Then there's no future I see where the humans survive with parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consume till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise. "45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
That was magnificent. I just got to witness a movie unfold right in front of me. Wow. I want to run it back to that last section before we dive into it because there's some things I want to talk about. Right here when the rain starts. So he has the water raining down over him. This is a callback to Money Game Part 1, where at the end, he has that oil raining down over him. And in Money Game 1, he flicks the lighter to signify the end. Now, he presses on the trigger to signify the end. Just pulls the trigger. Man, there's so many callbacks.
45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking.
Soaking wet. Okay. I also noticed that the rain here, as the ground got more wet, it was progressively expanding towards the back, and you see the progression here as the ground gets wetter. I looked over and I saw this lady on the left here with the viola or the violin. She looks like she's getting wet as well. I don't know if that was intentional. Probably not. But ladies, I know Ren is getting wet and you're getting wet seeing Ren get wet. But calm down.
In the game, he is everything he wants. He is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate.
He says that Jimmy has everything he wants, fortune and fame, but I really don't think that's true. I don't think Jimmy has everything he wants. I think he has everything his father wanted. Because he is not happy with everything that he has.
He is everything he wants. He is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a
Right there. Right there. He says Jimmy has everything he wants, fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. That was the moment I knew his fate was sealed. But I think that Jimmy's fate was sealed before he was even born, because I feel like his dad had this whole script that he wrote out before Jimmy was born. This whole itinerary, this list of things that he wanted Jimmy to accomplish each year. And we see each year of Jimmy's life. And his dad keeps coming back around telling him it's not good enough. So I don't think there was ever a chance for Jimmy. I don't think Jimmy could have changed his fate. His dad determined it for him.
Fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the word.
If serendipity. A 45 caliber. His age is 45. That's just... And it's Colt 45. Colt 45 the gun. Colt 45 is also malt liquor. Colt 45 the song. There's so many 45s. I'm surprised Ren didn't make the song 45 minutes long, like this reaction's gonna be. But my goodness, this is the tension building. I've been on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Words of his father is such a damn shame.
And shame, right there. That's another callback to the previous Money Games. He has mentioned shame in each installment of Money Game. And here it is again.
Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
And there's another callback right there. Wow. In Money Game Part 1, his finger on the trigger of a money game, and now he presses on the trigger, signifying that that is the end of Money Game. That's it. That's the trilogy. It's done. Wow, there's so many callbacks. There's callbacks to the previous Money Games. We see Money Game Part 2, where he's preaching sell, sell, sell. In this, Jimmy's dad is trying to get him to sell, 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 make as much money as possible. But there's callbacks to High Ren as well. There's callbacks to the beginning of the song, everything in this. Callbacks to High Ren, not just in the runtime of the song, but the wheelchair. He stands up out of the wheelchair and he looks directly in the camera. That gives me chills thinking about it. But he looks directly in the camera and tells us his message. This right here, Money Game Part 3. Combined, it brought in Money Game 1 and 2. It brought in High Ren. And it also brought in the storytelling of the Tales trilogy and combined them all into this one work. What happens when you combine all of those ingredients? You get this masterpiece, this magnificent work of art. Wow. Wow. Just wow. I can't stop saying wow because I'm blown away. Like, everything has come full circle now. I wonder if this will get put together in a trilogy on Ren's channel, kind of like the Tales trilogy, because each of them just so significant and falling in line and having everything come full circle right there when he presses on the trigger of a money game. My goodness. Wow. But this shows right here, this culmination. Ren can give the idea. He can put out that message, but he can't create that change alone. And it showed in the build up to Money Game 3 when everyone came together and worked as a collective and really put their minds to it. They were solving all of those riddles and everything, the different key parts. This opens the doors for conversation and allows us to come together and have those conversations about how to create this change. High Ren spoke about mental illness, but Money Game speaks about societal illness. Absolutely astonishing right here. What is your thoughts on it now? Now that we're several weeks removed from its premiere and you've had time to digest it and really take in what transpired here, if you watched it during the premiere and now you're watching it again, has your thoughts changed on it? Did it not live up to your expectations, or did it meet them? Did you set the bar too high? Were your expectations too high, like Jimmy's dad? Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on this. Whew. I'm gonna need some fresh air after this. I do appreciate you being here. I thank you for tuning in and spending time with me. It really means a lot to me. But I hope that wherever you are in the world right now, you're doing well. This was something to truly behold. Magnificent storytelling. So I'm glad that I got to witness it with you as well. I mean, right here. Just magnificent storytelling right here. Stephen King's It. I have the book on the shelf all the time. We have these books with these great stories. They're going to write a book about Ren. The next one we're doing is Ren 7 Sins. It was a special request. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Love, peace, chicken grease. It's your boy, Snake Venom. S to the V. Peace.